Hey Jules, I have a game that we're gonna start the show with.
Okay.
I need you to pay attention
Oh,
because we're
shit,
gonna
we're
play
live?
a game. Yeah.
I'm here, I promise.
It's season 2, Straight People Ultimatum. Get your whiteboards out. We're playing a game. Yeah.
Hold on.
Have you seen the if you know the words to the song TikTok?
No.
Okay, well.
Oh, wait, maybe?
The directions are in the song. So we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it live on the internet. The directions are in the song. And we're doing Armageddon for the show, okay? And we're going to do this live on the internet. When you know the words to the song, sing along, sing along.
Is that the TikTok song?
Yes, that's the same.
Okay.
Everyone does it in a weird accent. Now I got to do it over again.
Right.
When you know the words to the song, sing along, sing along. No, you just get the one.
I'm leaving on a jet plane.
I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back again. Mm-hmm. This was the first time I realized on Armageddon that Ben Affleck didn't know the words to the song and he was just making up other articles. I was like, that's not how it goes, Ben. You know I love to yell at Ben Affleck.
Yeah, well.
And I was like, that's not how it goes, Ben.
Mm-mm.
Everyone, welcome to Still Comfy. My name is Natalie Katona, the host and producer of the weekly podcast To All the Men I've Tolerated Before. Tonight, I'm joined by my lovely Still Comfy co-host.
I'm Julia Washington, your host of Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous and Jelly Pops Book Club.
And tonight, we'll be covering the 2.5-hour-long movie Armageddon.
Did not need to be that long.
No, I have a request for anyone who has a movie in their heart that has to do with storms,
space,
asteroids, space, men climbing big buildings, men being trapped in big buildings,
guns,
dinosaurs, dinosaur sharks. Your movies can and should only be an hour and 15 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need an emotional arc.
No.
Number one, there's barely an emotional arc in this movie for how long that it is.
Well, and the emotional arc is kind of gross.
Uh-huh.
Because it's such a savior complex situation.
Yes.
And every time they were like, take care of my little girl, I was like, she's a grown-ass fucking woman.
Which is something she's been trying to scream at you.
The whole movie.
The whole movie. Can
I tell you what Roger Ebert had to say? I was dying. We don't normally do that for Still Comfies, but I was curious.
We do it for Still Comfies. We do it for your Still Comfies and not my Still Comfies because he is my enemy. But sure, you've already looked up the article.
I think I was dying to know but I think you might appreciate it. Okay.
He's my sworn enemy.
His opening paragraph is this. Here it is at last. The first 150-minute trailer. Armageddon is cut together like its own highlights. Take almost any 30 seconds at random and you'd have a TV ad. The movie is an assault on the eyes, the ears, the brain, common sense, and the human desire to be entertained. No matter what they're charging to get in, it's worth more to get out. Guess how many stars he gave it?
2.
1.
Oh, here's the thing. To make my TikTok instead, because I forgot to film the opening credits to try and get people to guess what movie we were doing.
Yeah, I wondered where that was this week.
So I did the good old Ben Affleck smoking a cigarette because I had regrets because I had to watch a 2.5-hour movie and I did not start it last night. Like my entire body told me that I should, but I couldn't.
Well, it's 2.5 hours.
Correct. And I think by the time I was like, maybe I could get her to change her mind since this was my pick. You told me you had watched it. And I was like, now I'm a dick.
Now you're stuck.
Right. So because I have a TikTok shop, I can no longer just use any sound on TikTok.
Oh.
So I couldn't just use Don't Want to Close My Eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to search Armageddon movie clips to see like who just left the sound on their TV.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there were so many men just crying. Like, you watch these movies from your childhood and you think that they were maybe exciting when you were a kid, but you just don't know until you're a grown man watching Bruce Willis on a rocket. And I'm like, oh my God, space and war. Space and war. They all believe that one day Billy Bob Thornton will be knocking on their door to be like, it's time. You get to go to the space war.
Yeah. I literally wrote down basic white guy savior shit, just a movie about a simple yet brilliant oil rig driller who is the only one who can save the world.
NASA
needs you.
NASA, before the internet, found his patent. Yes. I don't even know where they put paper patents, but NASA did. They found his patent for a drill and were like, Bruce Willis, Harry, we need you and your crew of motley pirates to learn how to be in a spaceship. And I was like, they wouldn't even let Lance Bass go into space for real.
Like, there were so many flaws just in that alone, right? Because then they were doing all the testing and stuff. First of all, they spent way too much time telling us how they're completely unfit health-wise to go into space.
Yeah.
We know that this isn't even plausible. Just fucking get to the point.
Right. I would like to go to the first couple of minutes of Bruce Willis. Jules dropped a comment in the comments so that you can find the Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous YouTube channel, since we bounce between the two. But also, this is your friendly reminder that while I can see that eyes are watching, I do not know who the eyes belong to because of our third-party system with YouTube. So if you're here, comment. Tell us your favorite song from the Armageddon soundtrack. Tell us a movie that you wish we would have covered instead of this one. And and any question I ask or any asshat thing that I say, if you're watching the replay, just tell me. I'll find it. Gmail emails me every time someone leaves a comment on any of our stuff.
It's true. After watching this for 2.5 hours, I finished the movie and I thought, cannot wait for Natalie to tell me everything about this film because it was her pick.
Because it was my pick. And 2 weeks ago, I told you, I was like, why have I not backed down on Armageddon? Because I backed down on Army of Darkness.
Yeah, you did.
And I was like, I would rather watch Ever After. Way better pick.
Such a better choice.
And then I thought, why haven't I backed down on Armageddon to do Riding in Cars with Boys? And for that, I have to blame Drew Barrymore for betraying the writers and the writers' strike. It's her fault. It's her fault that I had to watch Ben Affleck on a rocket ship for 2.5 hours.
I mean, this is like every little boy's dream, right? Or at least this is what they're told their dream should be. Like, you're just some dude living your life, and then you get plucked out of obscurity to save the world.
And then I think, because we have a female
version of Cinderella.
It is their version of Cinderella. And we have our version of it too, where it's like a relative dies and you realize that you were a princess, or you're walking down the street and a man thinks that you're so pretty that you get to be the next pop star.
Yeah. I mean, I have had that happen to me several times.
Were they predators though, or were
no, and it wasn't necessarily men. It was like legitimate, like scouts and stuff. But because I was a jaded punk rock girl, I was like, "Fuck you." All
right, well,
we wouldn't. I mean, Natalie, we wouldn't have met each other had I taken the leap and joined that modeling agency in 1998. Actually,
in the year of our Lord Savior Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Okay. I would like to go to the first scene that we see Bruce Willis and I would like to give a moment of silence for Harry and his oil rig, because as of 2023, we have lost them to the Orca Oceanic War because Harry is a climate change denier.
I was so mad. I was like, this is why men don't believe in climate change, because Bruce Willis was knocking golf balls at the fucking climate activists in this movie.
So while other people might think, damn, it's too bad that there wasn't a sequel so we could have seen all of the good things AJ/Ben Affleck did with Harry's legacy, it's too bad the orcas got him. The orcas.
Also, in the beginning, we have some very unfortunate representation of my community with the very caricature-y, and not just Black people, but I think they're supposed to be from Japan, the tourists.
Yeah.
I want to go shopping. And it was just like, why would you do that to those actors?
Right. And then the Black man with the good job uses the R word.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, damn, it is 98. We're still using the R word.
Right. That threw me too. I was like, what? Yeah.
No, it was definitely 98. And it made me, I don't know if I've actually watched an entire Rush Hour with Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan. But
I don't think I've ever seen one, actually.
Yeah, I don't think I've watched an entire Rush Hour. I think I've watched clips of a Rush Hour. I have to believe that all Rush Hour movies are just extended, like, really horrific scenes of Armageddon.
I was a little bummed, too, because Mr. Cooper is the taxi driver, and I was like, he deserved better. What's his name?
I love Mr. Cooper.
Mark.
Where is Mr. Cooper?
I'm trying to remember. First name is Mark for sure. Mark Curry. I was going to say Mark Curry, but I wasn't confident. I
love Mr. Cooper, and he does deserve better. And what the hell was this? And then like the class clash where like all of these white men and then Michael Duncan Clark are like, we're the same, but we're different, NASA. And I was like, I need Steve Buscemi to spell me NASA. And then it turns out he's the smartest one on the rocket ship.
I know, right? He's got all these degrees in like the actual science that they need to know. The other thing that really kind of got to me too was this whole like concept of like, there's meteors that are going to hit China. Do we warn them? No.
What are they going to do?
It's going to cause mass hysteria. We can't let anybody know. And I was like, listen, Natalie, you can draw a direct line of American arrogance from movies like this.
Yeah, because that's what we still do.
Real life American arrogance is what I should have said.
That's why Stevie Nicks had to give me an update on the war in Ukraine via Kentucky.
Yeah.
And so on. Because that's what we still do. We're just like, what? Global news? Not for us dumb Americans.
But not even just that. It's like, well, we don't need to tell China because we shouldn't give them time to evacuate the city and save as many lives as possible.
And I was like, I need Billy Bob Thornton to say a time reference. I need him to say, what are they going to do in the next 15 minutes?
Right.
Like, because then I'm like, I mean, yeah. What are they going to do in the next 15 minutes?
But then also the like audacity to believe that you could land on a meteor.
I believe that the Russian character in Space Russian, I believe that that's why Russia treats us the way that it does still. I'm like, this just restarted the Cold War. And then they're like, Lev's a hero. And I'm like, that's not how you wrote him.
No.
It's just comical. And I'd like to talk about Grace. I'd like to talk about one of Grace's very first lines after they find her naked in Ben Affleck's bedroom, where she looks at Bruce Willis, her father Harry, to go, you raised me on an oil rig my entire life. Who else was I going to meet but a roughneck? And I was like, Liv, you just said the problem. You have no other options. What if you went to the mainland?
Right. Go to land.
Take your little suit, get on that helicopter, meet a nice astronaut at NASA. And she's like, I love him. And I'm like, he's the only man you know.
He's the only attractive one on the fucking rig.
I mean, Owen Wilson was on the rig.
Oh, yeah, he's cute. But he was kind of like, he wasn't charming in the way that they played up Ben Affleck to be charming.
No, and truly, I remember having big feelings about this movie as a kid. Like, do you remember having like big feelings about this movie?
The soundtrack was my personality for the rest of the year.
Yeah. Just every day singing Leaving on a Jet Plane to myself.
And that main Aerosmith song, I loved that music video. I loved how they took out Bruce Willis's face in the screen and put in Steven Tyler's for the music video.
Oh, yeah, that music video is a fucking banger. But the only time I had strong feelings rewatching it is when Owen Wilson had been optimistic and positive one too many times, and I screamed, Penelope! Does Owen Wilson die in this movie? And he does.
He sure does.
He doesn't make it back.
He does not make it back. And
you know that his entire purpose of the movie is to be the overly energetic, like, I can't wait to be in space guy because he's not coming home. I hope you loved space, Owen Wilson, because you're not coming back.
I hope it was worth it.
Meanwhile, Ben Affleck almost died 4 times in this movie.
Right. Can I just also point out, we've had this conversation privately. I grew up in a private religious environment academically, which proved to be really beneficial in some areas of education, but where it failed was science.
That's weird. What? The Christians not teaching science?
So there was a lot of stuff that I was just like, wait, what don't I know about science and why did I believe Armageddon?
No, now we have to watch The Meg, because if you can't tell movie disaster science from real science, that's just fun. That's just personally fun for me because I can spot fake movie science a mile away because I'm like, they just wrote that into the plot to make sure that we believed that Jason could do that. I
literally wrote down, is space dementia real? And then looked it up and it is not.
I texted my sister first off. Last night, I looked up how long Armageddon was and it was 2.5 hours long. And my brain immediately went, we cannot do that today. And then I texted my sister and I was like, who let Armageddon be 2.5 hours long? And she texted me back, Aerosmith probably. So all of their bangers could be in it.
Truly.
Steven Tyler. So Liv Tyler would get her big break.
Well, I mean, prior to this movie, she did a ton of other movies that I love.
But when Steve Buscemi does what literally anyone in Steve Buscemi, any white dude sees a space gun connected to a space droid and is like, I am going to shoot this space gun. And he's literally shooting it at the asteroid at his friends. He's like, this is so fun, Harry. Do you see the space gun? And Harry tackles him. And then when that astronaut goes, he has the space dementia. Harry.
Space dementia.
I texted my sister and I was like, ooh, Steve Buscemi got that space dementia. And I was like, because cabin fever is a real thing, correct?
Yes, I believe that is true.
Like, yeah, so Tim Curry was correct with the song We've Got Cabin Fever and the Muppet Treasure Island. But space dementia, which I would assume presents itself like cabin fever.
I didn't see the difference between him and any other guy, honestly.
No, it's like he's just playing with a toy.
He's playing with a gun. Yeah, he's got his little shooter. He's got his little pew, 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 and he's having a good time.
He's not going to let something like, I don't know, maybe accidentally shooting Bruce Willis and putting an air hole in his spacesuit get between him and a good time.
No.
Laser tag, baby, in space.
Like, look at all these lasers. I'm hot shit.
The
I was
space
like,
dementia.
how is this space dementia and what is space dementia? And maybe I need to go and take some science classes.
Because I'm sure as a kid, my brain did like riddle it out. I was like, yeah, space dementia, because like there's no air and that's gonna fuck with your head.
I mean,
There's no air.
I mean, they tried to present the Russian astronaut at the Russian space station with space dementia because they said he's been up there 12 years, which I feel
let
like
that man come home.
I feel like that is unheard of, right? I don't feel like
Yes.
anybody's lived in a space station that long.
Who's
And then-
bringing him his rations?
And this food, yeah, like they just send a rocket ship that docks, and they're like, oh, those Russians, watch out, he's gonna be wild and crazy. And he's like, listen, this space station is old because we're Russia and Americans think Russians are dumb and poor. When I feel like every time anyway, and then they're like, you're an idiot, we'll touch all your shit, and then blow up the station. And he's like, I told you not to touch my shit.
You know, I recently saw the space station.
The Russian one that blew up in Armageddon, or the International Space Station?
The SpaceX one.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought it was aliens because it's real startling when you're just looking up and you're convinced that it's a shooting star. But then you're like, wait, it's like a shooting star, but it's on like time lapse.
Right?
Because it's stuttering. And no one prepares you to be like, this is what SpaceX looks like. This is what it'll look like in the sky. And then it looked, because you know I live by the Air Force Base. Then it looked like the Air Force guys were, I was like, this is it. We're going to watch aliens get taken down. This is our Independence Day.
Speaking of, remember how also in 1998 Deep Impact released, and it was essentially the same movie?
Yeah, but with the ocean, right?
No, it was a meteor, I thought.
But doesn't the meteor hit the ocean? Isn't Keanu in it? And he like surfs or something?
Morgan Freeman, Lily Sobieski, Elijah Wood, Taya Leone.
Oh no,
Elijah Wood discovers
where that meteor hits and they're trying to outrun the tsunami or something.
Well, they're building an underground world, and because Elijah Wood discovered the meteor, he marries Lily so they could live underground because he gets entrance because he discovered it. And then there's a lottery to figure out who else can live in the bunker so that way they survive when the meteor hits.
I truly don't think I've seen Deep Impact. I've seen Independence Day.
Yeah. A comet is hurtling toward Earth and could mean the end of all human life. The U.S. government keeps the crisis under wraps, but crack reporter Jenny Lerner, Taya Leone, uncovers the truth, forcing the U.S. President, Morgan Freeman, to announce his plan. Grizzled astronaut Spurgeon Fish Tanner, Robert Duvall, and his team will land on the comet and lay explosives, hopefully deterring the object from its doomsday course. If not, humanity will have to prepare for the worst.
The 90s really wanted us to believe that space was a big deal. And you know what's insane to me? Being people who watched Deep Impact and Armageddon and Independence Day and Evolution with David Duchovny, but then hearing maybe not you because your school didn't do science, but when Halley's Comet would come around, my school would get all the fuck lit up. We'd be like, it's the comet. It's going to be outside. And I'd be like, that's the shit that killed Bruce Willis. That shit killed Bruce Willis. Why are we going outside?
The 90s were kind of wild for the whole, like, the world is ending. And that definitely led up to this whole, like, you know, the millennia, the turn of the millennium, and everyone was like freaking out about the world ending there. So that was
the Mayan calendar.
Yeah, well, was it the Mayan calendar? I thought that was 2012.
Oh yeah, it might have been all of it. Oh no, Y2K.
Y2K, and
the
like
stocks were gonna crash.
So like from like 1996 to 1999, we had a very interesting variety of action films that dealt with the world ending. No wonder we were freaked out about Y2K.
If Billy Bob Thornton called me right now and was like, Natalie, an asteroid is coming, I'd go, thank fucking God. Like, really, Billy? I'm getting topless and I'm just going to go meet the meteor in my front yard. Thank God.
I'd be like, honey bear, to my child, you need to get your ass home because if we're dying together.
Natalie, I forgot Billy Bob was in this movie. So as you know, I was making lunch during this movie because I was like, well, I have 4 hours.
Oh, yeah. You gotta set aside the time.
So I'm at the microwave and I hear Billy and I'm like, Billy Bob? I was like, Billy Bob, forgot you were in this movie. Penelope's like, who are you talking to?
Is that you?
Billy Bob?
Santa Claus?
Because I love 90s Billy Bob Thornton. I'm like, Billy Bob? And then one of my notes is like, what? I was like, the 90s kept trying to gaslight us into believing that Billy Bob Thornton is a very intelligent, smart man. But what if that's the joke? What if Billy Bob Thornton is a very smart, intelligent man who just happens to be named Billy Bob?
I mean,
the world may never know.
The world may never know.
Yeah. I'd be like, Billy Bob. Because I do. I love me some 90s Billy Bob.
Did you do what I did and look at him and go, did he eventually get his teeth fixed? Because I don't remember them looking like that.
No, I don't look at people's teeth.
I'm obsessed with looking at people's teeth.
I did, however, I had to keep staring at Bill Pullman's brother, or not Bill Pullman, Bill Paxton's brother, whose name is Will Paxton, and being like, that's not Bill Paxton.
Will Patton?
Oh, was it Patton? I read it as Paxton because I was convinced it was Bill Paxton.
I thought his name was Will Patton.
I don't know. They look exactly the same. And then my brain went, oh, they're brothers. I just made up a family for Bill Paxton. May he rest in peace.
That's so funny.
Because I also love 90s Bill Paxton.
Yeah.
And honestly, we should have watched Twister because Twister's a better movie.
Oh, that's a great. I haven't seen that movie in forever. Yeah, Will Patton.
Okay. Well, scratch that, everyone. Bill Paxton doesn't have a brother who was in Armageddon. He's our little cutie from Remember the Titans. Oh yeah, that's why. That's why he felt like home.
Yeah. And he's the deadbeat who's the salesman, but then the woman sees that he's on NASA now so they can kiss when he comes home. And she's like, it's your daddy, because that's going to change him from being a deadbeat. Right. That's your daddy, the astronaut. The deadbeat who isn't allowed to come around because he's a deadbeat. How many times can I say deadbeat right now? Honestly, though, like we saw it work on One Tree Hill with Peyton's dad, because I have to assume that that's what Peyton's dad did for a living. He did whatever Bruce Willis is doing on the ocean. Yeah, because what else are you doing out on the ocean if it's not like fishing? I don't think exactly. I think that's it. Yeah. Unless you're like uber wealthy and then you're like, hey, I'm on a yacht. I'm getting murdered by orcas. Mad because we shouldn't be here. So I'm assuming, so we've seen that work where like you still call your kid, you still come home for your kid every once in a while. Your kid is mostly raising yourself because your mom happened to die. Her mom's how dead. Did she get the pass? Did she call NASA and be like, hey, I birthed the child of that guy. Yeah. Please let me have a pass. And Billy Bob probably was like, I don't know, just let them all in. Just let them all in. We have 6 hours before impact anyway. Right. Let's just let it go. Liv Tyler's already crying. Liv Tyler's entire job in this movie is to just be sadly standing somewhere. And to remind them that it's her entire family up there. Golly. But also, fuck that lady who left Bruce Willis but didn't take Liv Tyler. Yeah. See, this is why I'm like, this is like menace propaganda. Yes. Because he's like, well, and it's also, do you like, you know how like when you hate yourself, the last thing you want to do is to watch someone else be with someone who is you. So like Bruce Willis hates himself. Yeah. Steve Buscemi's smarter than him. That probably makes him feel a whole bunch of different ways because no one wants Steve Buscemi to be smarter than them. Poor Steve. And he's watching Liv Tyler and here's Ben Affleck and he's reckless. And he can't listen. He's almost gotten 8 people killed on the oil rig. Well,
sure, let's take him to space.
and the whole time when Bruce Willis is like shooting at him, I was like, you're supposed to be the best oil driller of 30 years, and you're choosing to shoot a firearm on an oil rig?
By the oil.
That is so dangerous. Like, what?
Just throw him overboard.
Problem solved.
Let the sharks have him.
Yeah.
Or let your daughter get boned. You won't let her go to the mainland. Personally,
until he finds out that she is getting D'd down,
right.
and then he's like, off the ship.
Off the ship. Honestly, I would have thrown myself at Michael Clark Duncan. Duncan Clark, Michael Duncan Clark, Clark Duncan.
The order?
Yeah.
The order. You keep talking, I'll confirm the order. Michael Clark Duncan, you were right the first time.
Michael Clark Duncan. I was just like a moment of appreciation, a moment of silence, if you will, for Michael Clark Duncan's arms in this movie. May those arms rest in peace. Because they're huge. I was like, they were not that big in the Green Mile.
I feel like he didn't get enough screen time.
No, because he's hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a good attitude about him. I did almost cry when they all started to join in on Leaving on a Jet Plane. Yeah. And he starts it. I was like, this is my favorite part of the movie.
It's cute. But also how awkward, because Liv Tyler is clearly taller than everybody in that movie. So like her long ass legs and their like feet sticking out. I was like, ma'am.
She's got her legs wrapped around Ben Affleck and Steve Buscemi at the same time somehow.
I was like, they did a really good job at convincing us that she's not taller than Ben Affleck or Bruce Willis.
Do you remember in the 90s when I didn't hate Ben Affleck?
Yeah, I was looking at this. I was like, man, I thought he was so goddamn cute. Like, he was so dreamy to me in this film.
And I think because after Armageddon, I assumed that Ben Affleck was AJ off of Armageddon, just a dumb puppy of a man who just wanted to eat animal crackers. I was like, who eats animal crackers as a grown-up?
It's so cute. Oh, yeah.
He just wanted to eat animal crackers and like listen to Aerosmith and be in space. Mm-hmm. And then I found out that like Ben Affleck is a menace. Is a literal menace.
Jennifer Garner deserves better.
Jennifer Garner, you deserve better. And J-Lo, do not make me stand by you a third time when this one time around goes dark. And then you want to try it again.
I mean, they're married, so...
They were married the first time.
No, they weren't.
Oh.
They never got married. They just got engaged. And then I forget what broke them up. And then they spent all those years being in relationships with other people when they should have just been in relationships with them. It's the Johnny Cash effect all over again. It makes me so upset. I hate it. Just admit that you want to be with that person and don't fuck over other people's lives.
Right. I just hate Ben Affleck because his stories get to be made and they're not that interesting. Like him and Matt Damon, I get it. They were in a dorm room. They had a lot of time on their hands. They wrote down some journals.
Like, you know what's a great idea?
You know, this is a great idea. What if, like, you're a janitor, but you can do math? Mm-hmm. What? And you're right. So many of the movies about centering white men in the 90s were literally like, hey, we get it. You had a shit childhood. No one believed in you. No one believed in you.
Mm-hmm.
You've just been here on this farm, on this boat, in using a mop as a janitor.
Yeah.
But I see something in you. And your country needs you. Your country, your university, your town.
You're it. You're what we need. Mm-hmm.
We need you to build a baseball diamond in your farm.
Listen, don't come for Field of Dreams. I love that movie so hard.
I don't think I've seen all of Field of Dreams either.
Oh my God. But also though, somebody looked at Ben Affleck one day and said, you know what would be a great idea? Batman.
And that's when I was done. I was like, number one, let me reenact the first photo they released of Ben Affleck. as Batman. And it's Batman sitting like this. Who wants to watch that Batman?
I was watching clips of Christian Bale's Batman, and I was like, why? Why did anybody come in after Christian Bale? This is perfect.
Who wants to watch manic depressive Batman?
I don't know.
He has money and unlimited legal power in Gotham. Don't you dare bring me mopey Batman.
Right. If I had money and unlimited legal power, there's no telling what I would do. Everyone would be literate. Everyone would be fed.
Yeah.
Everyone would have a place to live.
And what's Bruce Wayne doing? Fucking pouting.
And he's mad because people are upset that they don't have a place to live or livable wages.
Right. Just pouting. And it's like, sir, you don't have to be Batman. You just have to unleash some of this cash that you have.
Right.
Which again, Armageddon and Batman, they're very male like solutions to a problem. Where it's like, okay, the people of Gotham, Alfred, did you know that the people of Gotham, they do not know where their next meal is coming from? And then Alfred's like, well, yes, good sir, I did know that. Okay. I think I'm going to fight that guy in the sewer. Could you like build me my third Batmobile? Because this one has to go in the sewer.
Did you know this movie has I'm sorry to change to knock you off your bit, but did you know this movie has 6 credited writers?
Oh my God. It's Jules, it's our ultimate joke. A group of white men sat in a room. And they're like, I've always wanted to go to space. What about you, Steve? Troy, you ever want to be in space? I've always wanted to know what the astronauts did.
What do the astronauts
What do
do?
the astronauts
Wouldn't
do?
it be so cool if we could like blow up a comet?
Well, Steven Tyler rips on a guitar.
Does Steven Tyler play guitar? I think he just sings.
I don't know. That one guy plays the guitar. Skriller. Like, someone comment the other names of the. I know the names of the band members of Aerosmith because I do love Aerosmith. Like, you cannot play an Aerosmith song, and I'm not horrifically excited.
The only Aerosmith factoid that I have retained, we went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I've been a couple times because my family's from Cleveland. And so we were visiting family, went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and I just watched the PBS documentary about the history of music. It was fantastic. Can't buy it anywhere. Makes me sad. So we went because it was in partnership with the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and PBS to produce it. And they had these little video clips that you could go into these like little tiny theaters and watch these video clips. I don't know what it looks like now. I haven't been this century. And somebody's interviewing Steven Tyler. And he goes, and the question was like, did you make a lot of money being in Aerosmith? And he's like, yeah, it all went up my nose.
Listen, I did.
This is the clip you chose to show in the museum part of the Hall of Fame? Or maybe it was the Experience Music Project in Seattle. I'm getting the two confused. But either way, like that's the factoid that I remember.
Listen, I am on a very fun and funny episode of Traversing the Stars podcast. My friend JD used to be on it. It's me, his wife Trina, and he made me watch. It's this rock and roll documentary, and there's 2 parts. And one part is like 80s glam rock, which is what we watched. And then the other part, the like second part, is punk rock. And it might just literally be called The History of Rock or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But for one thing, like JD was like, okay, so Natalie, like, what did you think? Because I'm so hateful about things.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I never thought that I would sit in my couch and for an hour and a half just be so endeared by a 21-year-old Bret Michaels passing out flyers to try and get people to come to his show, knowing one day he'll be poison and everyone will know poison and everyone will know every rose has its thorn.
Yeah.
And it like, and they had a scene of like Ozzy Osbourne coherent
Yeah.
And making eggs.
Yeah. The early, like when you see interviews of like famous groups before they're big, it really is charming because it's
really
just
is.
like, oh, these sweet kids who are talented and really, really want to do something. Love it.
They're so cute. They were all very adorable. Even the one who was so coked out of his mind that his mom would just like push his pool floaty with like a broomstick to try and get him out of the pool or to hand him a beer. And I cannot remember which rock legend it was, but it was one of them.
It was one of them. That sounds so funny.
And I think it's why I love them. And you know what movie we should have watched instead of this one? Rockstar. I love the movie Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg.
I would say that's Marky Mark, right?
Yeah, Marky Mark. And honestly, Rockstar is my dream. Every show, any live show that I'm in, I don't want to go to space at fucking all. Are you kidding me?
I don't want to leave. I don't want to leave gravity. I get it.
Did you see how many things were flying at those people in space?
Well, and then how do we know we get somebody who's doing real science or Christian science?
Right. or the Meg science. How do we know that this person didn't just have a deep love for 28 days?
Have you noticed it's always whoever discovers it is always just a hobbyist?
Right.
I just discovered, like, oh my God.
I get to name this asteroid, right? I get to name it after my wife because this fucking bitch. But every live show I'm at, it could be Broadway, it could be comedy, it could be a soda shop quartet on the streets of Disney World.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always just primed and ready. Oh my God, I'm going to drag brunch on Sunday, and it's Halloween drag brunch, and I'm going to wear my Venus flytrap costume.
Nice.
And I will just be primed and ready and be like, okay, just in case one of them falls.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I am Marky Mark in that movie where he's just like, he has a band, he loves that band, and should someone die of a heart attack on that stage, he can fill in.
There's literally 3 plays that I'm like, I know those characters and all of their lines. Tap me in, coach.
And like people are like, are you even enjoying this? I'm like, I'm having a wonderful time. You're like, okay. They're like, you're just trying to make dead eye contact with the MC. I want them to know.
Tap me in, coach. I'm ready.
At any moment I could. And honestly, it's how I think I'll get on Dropout TV. I think I'll be on a tour. Someone won't show up.
What are we gonna do?
And Sam will just look at me and he'll be like, you've had some good jokes today. You want to do actually? And I'll be like, sure, I'm a dumbass. I don't actually know trivia. And he'll be like, even better.
Even better.
Go meet Trap.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. I feel like a lot of people have that dream about their lives. They're like, not because we are not creatively repressed, but people who are.
Yeah, they just feel like at some point Denzel Washington's going to be like, do you play football?
Yeah.
Did you ever play like football with your dad?
Oh my God, your arms are so buff. Do you ever think about playing football?
Do you ever think about playing football? And that's why Joe Alwyn had to break up with Taylor Swift, because no one ever asked him if he wanted to play football.
I think no one ever asked him if he knew how to play guitar.
Oh yeah, also that. Mm-hmm. But yeah, also the rampant 90s. So we talked about the R word and we talked about the rampant racism, but also the rampant sexism in this movie. They had one lady astronaut on their team, and Steve Buscemi was like, what if I hump her leg?
Yeah.
Until she loves me.
Yeah.
And if she hits me, I'm gonna like it.
Yeah.
Liv Tyler didn't get to talk to any women.
And then also when Steve Buscemi goes to the strip club, and then like that woman, I don't know what her accent was supposed to be.
Eastern European.
Yeah, just vague Eastern European accent. And I was like, oh, right. So we have daddy's little girl. We have the smart one. And then we have the stripper. So all of the male fantasies.
just in one. And
but it's not the smart one. This being a smart one isn't a male fantasy. Whatever that.
Oh, they threw us a bone. They're like, they won't be mad if the astronaut knows how to do math.
Yeah. Also, this movie was very religious.
Was it?
The amount of times they were like, God help us. And not like in a God help us. It was like, all right, God, get me out of this kind of thing.
I truly believe that the only thing that could actually turn someone into an atheist is being in fucking space. What do you think is above space? I want to know.
I don't know. Because again, I wrote down, I'm so confused about all of the science.
Jules, I didn't think to like look up a think piece on what science was made up Armageddon science and what science was science you should have been taught in the 4th grade. Jules, last week we learned you've never been to summer camp, and now we know you've never been to science camp.
We went to a science camp for a week in 6th grade. But it was like earth science.
Oh.
Like, look at these plants. Actually, I don't even know if we did that. All I remember is playing volleyball.
I'm a former astronaut because in the 5th grade, in the 5th grade, I too went to space camp. And I had to be in the control room overheating for our fake Challenger, and then people were in another room. It was like a whole simulator, and this is probably why I never want to be in space.
Well,
so
I'm Billy Bob. Call you for help now.
Yeah, Billy Bob. I'm ready. Tag me in. Biden, I can do it. So I'm Billy Bob Thornton, which like his job is stressful, and then like 6 of my peers are in the next room being like, Natalie, did we pack rations? And I'm like, I don't know, did you?
But also Billy Bob is regretful because he is physically unable to go to space, but I'm pretty confident he was healthier than everyone they sent in space.
Except for Michael Clark Duncan. Then, Natalie, what's the pressure doing? And I'm like, I actually don't have a good grasp on numbers. And then my 5th grade gifted and talented teacher is just over my shoulder being like, Natalie, we prepared for this for 7 weeks. And then I was like, you also named this whole camp because it was called Challenger Camp. And I was like, isn't that the shuttle that blew the fuck up?
Yeah. But it sounds like by Armageddon standards, you're a perfect candidate.
I mean, honestly, the whole camp was, what if we fixed what went wrong with the Challenger? Like the 5th grader, the 5th grade students in Northwest Indiana were like, don't worry, NASA, I got it.
Oh my God.
So I am a former astronaut and I'm ready.
I just feel like I don't feel so bad now about having Christian school science.
Because I had extreme space science.
Yeah.
Not everyone in my class got to go. Like, I was one of the smart kids. And
yeah,
therefore I got to go on a special... Right, I got to go on a special trip. Excuse me.
11-year-olds can fix NASA.
Right. If you haven't been able to tell from my type A personality and my general bitter and resentment for the world around me, I was a gifted and talented kid. They did pull me away from my peers to be like, hey, you're special. Hold that on your shoulders for the rest of your life.
You'll do amazing things. Meanwhile, we're all just slowly dying inside because we can't cope.
And yes, it did give me ADHD, it turns out. Or I already had it. I don't know. And hey, Julia, when it comes to Billy Bob Thornton in space, why not me? Why not me?
Dad.
Why not me?
Oh my God. I'm like overheating because of all the laughing.
I want to compromise.
I just want to fall asleep.
No, you don't want to fall asleep.
In science?
I'd miss
in space?
The song. Do you not know the song?
Because you would miss my face. Sorry.
Right. I don't want to miss a thing.
Right.
Because I'd miss you. It's brilliant songwriting.
Yes, I miss you, baby.
You, baby.
Yeah, and I don't want to miss.
Don't want to miss a thing.
Right. Which plays into the daddy's girl.
Oh my god, and you know, we talked about the stripper, we talked about the really smart lady, and we talked about the virgin.
Can I just read one more thing? Quote, I promised my little girl I'm coming home.
Yeah, you broke that promise, motherfucker.
But also stop calling her a little girl.
Also that. So Armageddon had the trifecta, the virgin, the whore, and the smart lady, the scientist. You know, the Holy Trinity.
The Holy Trinity.
Steven Tyler recreates that whole dynamic with Alicia Silverstone and Liv Tyler in that one music video that they're in for Aerosmith. Did I just blow your mind?
You did!
Because both of them are they're very smart. They're in private school. They're virgins. Look at their skirts.
Yes.
But they're also whores.
Oh my god.
There was that.
I don't know what you're going to clip tonight. This whole thing is fucking gold.
Oh my god. This might just be it for the rest of the week. I won't clip my own show this week, or I'll save a bunch of clips for the weekend. I was a child when someone had to tell me, because that's another music video that's a fucking straight banger. What song is it?
Hold on.
But while you're Googling, I was a child when someone had to break it to me. Oh yeah, Steven Tyler, he put his daughter and his daughter's best friend.
Is it crazy?
It is crazy. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's a great song.
And they're just gyrating in their fucking schoolgirl skirts and flipping people off. And then someone's like, that's Steven Tyler's little girl. And I'm like,
I just really need us to stop grown-ass women little girls.
No, I think they were teenagers when they put them in the movie. I need to know how old they were.
I'm trying to find that. Hold on. I got to retype.
God. But that music video is a banger. Everything
1993. Okay, yeah. So that song was released in 93. So the music video was
94 at the latest, because usually the singles get the videos.
Right. So yeah, okay, so they were children. They were literal children.
Just in their fucking horse skirts for God. In their Jesus slut skirts.
It's Catholic schoolgirl fantasy.
I have a Catholic schoolgirl skirt because they do Highlander weekend at the Renaissance Festival.
I believe it. Okay, so 1994. She was 17. Liv Tyler. She's the same age as my brother. I didn't realize that.
All right.
That's still too young, Natalie. That's still too young.
I mean, do you not see me dying inside? I think that gave me... Oh, one of my other favorite lines is, what are you doing with the gun in space? And I was like, bro, what are you doing with the gun in space?
Again, my brain goes, I actually know a fair amount about pew-pews because I was raised by a cop. And I'm thinking, I don't think that's going to actually work, homie.
No.
That's the science I did know from the movie, actually.
I don't know how the robot's guns were. And why does the robot have a gun in space? What could the Mars rover need a robot for? Or a gun for?
Or I don't know. I honestly don't know. Like, it literally is like, I can't I just, there's so many things watching this movie back where I'm just like, I watched this movie multiple times, and because I saw it in the movie theater a couple times, and then of course when it came out on VHS, I bought it. Duh. And like, I sat there watching it the other day, and I was just like, how did we not call so much into question about this film?
Because the Aerosmith soundtrack was too good.
I was going to say, is it because we were enamored by Steven Tyler's vocal stylings?
Always. Well, Jules, we are rounding up on that hour. Did we talk about the movie? I don't know. I have the space dementia.
Which apparently looks just like normal male behavior.
Also, you know what else did it happen with when their spacesuits exploded and they died? No one turned into ice. And I thought that that's how Bruce Willis died. I didn't think about the nuke, I guess. I thought he froze to death because that's what I know happens in space.
Yeah, that's what Guardians of the Galaxy taught us.
Yeah.
Yeah, the nuke thing was interesting too. Like there was just a lot of like, we believe these things can exist in space because they happen on Earth.
Just like the dinosaurs deserve to roam the earth again, but only in a zoo. Just like I don't care that lion is a apex predator of the savannah and climbs fucking mountains in Africa. He can't get to you. Did I tell you that the last time I was at the zoo, I watched a squirrel just parkour off of the like electrical fence that they keep around the lions? And I told Sam, I was like, it's not even on. I go, that squirrel just walked it like a tightrope.
That or he's just so fast it's not going to get him.
He just parkoured.
Because that's how squirrels survive. They are the inventors of parkour.
Oh my God. One time I had like a whole ass gaggle, like 16 squirrels in my yard. And I was like, I'm going to be late to whatever I'm going to because it was just too fun watching them play. But so Jules, how comfortable were you with my choice of Armageddon?
I am not comfortable with this movie at all.
Everybody. Come on.
It's like, you know how like there's some movies when they use the R word and you're like, okay, like everything else is fine.
You mean like what's eating Gilbert Grape? What do you mean when they use
Clueless?
Oh, okay.
You know, is an example that comes to mind.
Hairspray.
Yeah, and I feel like 10 Things I Hate About You might drop it. So like that's what, but like this is like it's not just the R word. It's like you're just watching this and you're like something's not right. And then the scene with, you know, Mark Curry and the New York getting blown up. And then the R word and then and you're just like there's no saving grace for this film in terms of age.
90s and it makes racism at its best.
So uncomfortable. And then when they're showing New York getting hit by all the asteroids and then they do a pan of the skyline and the Twin Towers are on fire, I was like, this is so awkward. Like,
so what you're saying
I mean, I get it. It's like years before 9/11, but now we're in a post 9/11 world. So like seeing that imagery is very alarming.
So you're saying that 9/11 not only took away country music, but also the hit film Armageddon? I'm leaving that live on the internet. You can't tell me otherwise that Toby Keith didn't use a tragedy to ruin country music.
So I'm very uncomfortable with this movie. And so Natalie, the next movie I pick is going to be fucking sports movie.
Not another sports movie.
JK.
We picked, here's the thing, everyone. Here's a little behind the scenes, behind the curtain. Okay.
BTS.
Jules and I, we sat down on one of our weekly meetings and we were like, you know what movies have? Anniversaries. And I found a list that took us month through month anniversary films, like big ones, like 20, 25th, 10, 15, like shit that I was like, surely this will be on the internet and the hashtags and the algorithm.
Yeah. And
then, then we crafted an entire Still Comfy season
around
that.
Because this Armageddon is 25 years, right?
So, yeah.
Notice how no one's talking about...
Because it's 98.
It's 98.
So,
it's 25. Notice how no one's talking about the 25th anniversary of Armageddon.
Or did we miss it because it was in the summer? I don't know.
No one was talking about it.
No one went on Instagram Live, because that's how I found out that 10 Things I Hate About You was having it, or not. How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days was having an anniversary. So Jules and we played a whole fucking Still Comfy season, and then you know what happens? You know what happens? Those Disney executives decided to get really fucking greedy, and they were like, you know who doesn't deserve to eat? The writers that we've built our platform upon. So then Jules and I were like, well, there goes our movie show. And then we had another one of our meetings. And strike stuff was getting lessened and whatever. And we were just like, all right, we got to fucking plan. And we literally just took that list and moved it to new dates. Not thinking, are there other movies? We've listed like 18 other movies that we enjoy on this live. 10 Things I Hate About You. We've already done Clueless. Rockstar. Field of Dreams. Deep Impact, maybe.
Deep Impact,
I don't know.
Probably, I don't know.
The Meg. And at no point did we go, should we read this list or should we just move it to new dates? We run like 2 to 3 shows. Each. We write blogs. We are our own copywriters. We write editors.
Newsletters.
We have newsletters.
We guest on other shows. I'm always hustling. I have time. A one-person partner. Well, 2 people. Like, we have our partnership, but then also our individual. What we do, we should have staff to help. But we don't.
And Penelope just slowly begins to resent me every day. She's like, Mom's always talking on that microphone, but never me.
Yeah.
Penelope is Liv Tyler. I didn't have time to read the list, let alone think about 90s racism. And I guess that's on me as the white member of our team. So go read The Other Black Girl. It's supported on Hulu.
Yes, that's actually our next book club pick.
Right, to make up for my sins.
Make up for your sins. My child.
Julia, let them know what's going on in our millions of things.
Speaking of all the shit that we do, this week on Pop Culture Makes Me Jealous, where we analyze pop culture through the lens of race or gender and sometimes both, we are dropping an episode about Freaky Friday, not the Still Comfy episode that we did a few weeks ago here on Still Comfy, but with special guest Chris DeRosa.
We love Chris DeRosa.
We love Chris DeRosa. He is of Fixing Famous People fame. He's a TV producer for reality television. He is hilarious.
Is everyone praying at noon for Britney? a la Chris DeRosa's prayer chain.
You can. I'll let you talk about that
Britney
when
I'm talking about.
Yeah. I'll let you talk about that when I'm done. And so that's tomorrow. We also have coming up, if I can get it done before tomorrow, is the Jelly Pops book club. We're taking a look at the perks of being a wallflower. So that that podcast compares book to screen adaptations to their screen counterparts. And I said we're going to be doing perks of being a wallflower this week.
Yeah.
Our book club is reading The Other Black Girl. It is a book by Zakaya Delilah Harris. It's very good. The Hulu series dropped on September 13th. And in order to join our book club and be a part of the live discussion, you can meet us and find us on Patreon, patreon.com/Julia Washington, and just pick the book club tier. There's lots of tiers you can choose from. Over on Patreon, we drop a lot of really fun shit, I think. I don't know. It's turning out that the universe is trying to tell me that people don't like me. So that feels really pointed.
Rude.
So if you like me, join the community. There's a free tier. You can join for free and get some cool shit. There's a whole free tier if you don't want to part with money. I get it.
A whole free tier. Mm-hmm. I guess it's my turn.
Yeah. Oh, next week we're going to be on my channel. We're going to do Cool Runnings. And yes, Natalie, I confirmed it is on the Disney Plus app.
I don't have logins to
fuck. Never mind. Scratch that. Well, next week is TBD.
Unless someone gives me their Disney Plus logins. All right. This week on To All the Men I've Tolerated Before, we're talking about ADHD and women and how we're underdiagnosed or not diagnosed at all. We have a newsletter. The newsletter has a discount code to our stellar Halloween merch. It's really cool this season. There's a little sassy ghost, and she's telling men that she can't wait until she ghosts them this Halloween season. Pray at 12 o'clock your time every day, or at 12 o'clock my time every day.
12 o'clock your local time.
Your local time for Brittany. We know which Brittany I'm talking about. And we have a newsletter. We have a blog. I'm starting to do more tarot content, which I promised Patreon members that I would offer tarot readings on Patreon, and then no one wanted them. So join our Patreon. We have a free trial, and we have a $5 tier that gets you all of the programmatic ads taken off of the episodes, and you get them early. Jules got her episode today.
I did.
And everyone, pray for Brittany. Look Billy Bob Thornton in the eye and ask him, why not me?
Why not me?
And stay cozy, stay comfy. We'll see you next week.
Bye, friends.
Maybe a bobsled.